Hi everyone. Oh my gosh. Okay, so happy Friday. Get you going there. I I had a call interrupt and I thought it might be an important call. So anyway, sorry about that. Hey, so we're here. Yay. We're going to do a couple things. I turned the heat on here, just feeling for heat. Nice to see everyone. I'm just going to put a little bit of water in here to make sure it doesn't scorch or anything, and then I have a little bit of water in that dish too. So we're going to get started. I'm just going to set these guys here, and I think, yeah, you can see everything I'm doing right here. Okay, good. Alrighty, so happy Friday. Where's my knife? Okay. We're going to start with the onion, which we often do. So we're going to save time. Hey, Darlene, good morning. It's a happy Friday. Very interesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, interesting day so far. That is for sure. I don't know if anybody else has noticed it, but the energy is getting crazier and crazier. So, hey Barb, hi, good morning. So we're gonna do like the same base for two different things, and one of them is going to be a chard dish, seeing as how I have 20 pounds of Swiss chard, and the other one's going to be something really cool with cauliflower. So if you guys like that. So yes, I have been busy studying all of the recent research on the viral things out there, and then as well, I've been getting quite a few inquiries for health issues, like what to do for cholesterol and all that kind of thing. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I didn't bring a sample here to show you, but remember when all this started in March, I was just getting into my herbal research of all the specific herbs. I've been working with herbs for 25 years because I'm a certified herbalist, but I had not worked with this particular energy that started. There's so much controversy on when it started, but anyways, it started in March. And so when I started researching this, one of the plants that came up, I'm very passionate about, and I was telling you guys, and I don't know if anybody saw that episode, but if not, you can look through my YouTube channel and my Facebook Live, and I do believe it was March or April, and what I found out was the true value of the Japanese knotwood. So, for those of you that are not familiar with that, hey Jane, hi, good morning. For those of you not familiar with Japanese knotwood, that is like one of the so-called invasive species that people are trying to get rid of, and it's the polygonum. Hi Minik, good morning. So the Japanese knotwood, people have been trying to kill it and use all kinds of chemicals and Roundup on it because it keeps coming back. But kind of like they're after broom too, right? To get rid of broom. But the Japanese knotwood is so important. It's one of the very few herbs that has been effective in the research for Lyme disease, and now they're finding so much use for it in this particular viral situation. And so I have some, luckily, that hasn't been treated and hasn't been tried to be killed, and so I'm pretty happy about that. And so I have been making herbal remedies for it, and I have my little cauliflowers here. Now it has chard in it, which is okay too. Anyways, super effective for that, for so many diseases. And so the Japanese knotweed is really, really valuable. So if you see it or you have it in your yard, or you know somebody has it in your yard, it is completely edible, especially in the spring. It's like rhubarb, you know, so that kind of a flavor. But the root is crazy medicinal, like really, really so intensely good for you. Now, as a herbalist, I have been trained in you know, tinctures and doses and that kind of thing. So, you know, just don't go off using hunks of it yourself without doing research or talking to someone that knows more about that, using the plant. But it really is valuable. So the other thing that I recently learned was I didn't know it was so great for cholesterol. Like, it's totally really good for helping to control cholesterol. So having said that, spoon. Having said that, the you know, the way to really control cholesterol is through food, of course. But if you want a little bit of assistance, or say you have a hereditary you know, issue with cholesterol, and it's not completely totally food based, the Japanese knotweed polygonum is really I can't remember the second word of the Latin name, but anyway, it'll come back to me. Anyways, it is really effective. So I have been working with that in tinctures and putting together preparations for clients, just so you know. There was another reason I brought that up. Anyway, yeah, not to be killing invasive species, because they came here for a reason. It's a valued plant in Japan, very valued. And in fact, in Japan, it's called Hushu Wu. So if anybody's familiar with Hushu Wu, you can buy it in any health food store, and it's known for everything. Works with the liver, works with energy, works with immune system, works with, obviously it's antiviral, you know, works with everything. So it's awesome stuff. Anyways, okay, so that's our herbal information for the day. We're going to add to this, we are going to make like a little bit of a mushroom onion gravy. So, and I don't have any fresh mushrooms. So, yes. Oh, Facebook, yeah, I know, Facebook's been funny. Okay, so we're going to add shiitakes to this, and I don't have any fresh mushrooms, so we're going to add some dried. And we worked with these earlier this week. So the shiitakes are very good for the immune system. They're antiviral as well, and they are really, really good for energy, good for stamina, good for the heart, good for liver. And so shiitakes are, they're a little bit rubbery when they're, well, they are kind of when they're fresh. You can buy these fresh anywhere, pretty much any grocery store. When they're dried, they tend to be a little bit chewy. So what I do is I just go around the stem. I don't use the stem in this. What I'll do is I'll save these stems for soup, which is really good for boosting the immune system and being antiviral in a soup. But I do find them just a little too chewy, you know, the stem's just a little too chewy in a dish, you know, in a meal, because you're kind of like chewing, it's a little rubbery. So, but they are very much well worth it. They are very antiviral. So the other mushrooms that I'm going to put in here are also, like a lot of the culinary mushrooms that are medicinal, are usually mostly all antiviral anyway. Good for the immune system, good for good for the liver, good for all kinds of things, depending on the mushroom. Turkey tails are really good, super, super antiviral. Turkey tails have been heavily researched and used for HIV, specifically. In general, they are antiviral. Your reishi mushrooms are really good for anti-cancer, you know, assisting the immune system in fighting off cancers. That's the reishi mushroom. Oh, there's another one I wanted to tell you about. I can't remember. But anyway, so the other ones we're going to put in here are the oyster mushrooms, which I'm so happy. We picked these in the spring, and I vacuum packed them, dried them, dehydrated, and vacuum packed them. They're really, really good for the immune system as well. But oyster mushrooms specifically have really antioxidant effects for the body. They fight free radicals, and they actually clean the any kind of toxicity from the body. Like if you've had any kind of exposure to radiation, which we all have, you know, to some degree, or if you work in some kind of a place where you're exposed to chemicals, like say you're a hairdresser or you work on cars or something, you know, anywhere that you're exposed to chemicals, which is, you know, pretty much anywhere, but specifically if you really are exposed a lot, the oyster mushrooms clean that, and they have been used environmentally to clean the environment as well. So, and bonus, they taste amazing. Like, they are so good. They really do have like a meaty texture. When you get them fresh, they almost taste like a super tender steak. So, yeah, I think more so than a portobello. Okay, so we're going to put these mushrooms together, get this going, and saute them with the onions. Going to cut up a little bit of garlic here too. And hey, oh no, oh yeah. Me too, Heather, the oyster mushrooms, just fabulous. If you can find any. Usually they're spring mushroom, like usually May, but sometimes you can find them this time of year, not as common though. But it is, we had that bit of rain here, and oh yeah, Manaic, the reishi mushrooms for anxiety, yeah, they're really good dried mushroom blends that you can put in your tea, that you can take as a supplement. I highly recommend them for the immune system, and you can get the combination mushroom blends, medicinal mushroom blends, at any health food store. I know Healthy Habits has a really good one, and I think it's from Harmonic Arts. And it's, yeah, it's really, I take it every day. We take it every day. So that's how important it is for the immune system, is that it really does need to be done daily. Reishi specifically is just super amazing. And like I said, the most of the research has been, well, I don't know if most of the research, but a lot of the research has been for cancer, for working with cancer. So we have some nice, beautiful, fresh garlic here, and I'm going to, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to, next thing, add some water. Gonna add some water. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, okay, I try to remember what that dish is for. Oh my gosh, I have so many things that run through my mind, probably simultaneously. I do get a lot done in a day, but sometimes I'm a little confused while I'm doing it. It's like there's so many things. It's harvest season. I have like so many pounds of chard, and apples, and plums, and I still have mega cucumbers. And so as I'm looking around here, I'm like, oh my God, there's just so much to do, and so many fun ways of doing it. So yes, I'm loving playing with food and having you guys join me on this Facebook Live, where we just share information and recipes for healthy food, and exploring ways to use healthy food. Okay, I'm going to add some pepper. Let's go with that. We're going to add some black pepper, and we are going to, we're going to add some turmeric, because it's always good to add turmeric if you're adding black pepper. It's always good to add turmeric whenever you can. I don't specifically want this to really turn orange, but we, because turmeric will do that. It's got the curcumin in it, so it's really good for anti-inflammatory, good for the immune system. Yeah, fire cider today, that's awesome. We should do that again, the fire cider. Anyway, the turmeric's anti-inflammatory because of the curcumin. I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add some cayenne too to spice it up. Cayenne's good for the blood, good for the circulation, good for cold hands and feet. Actually, it's really, really good for the heart and assists in circulation. So in a roundabout way, it can be useful and helpful for high blood pressure and cholesterol. And but if you use cayenne medicinally, you need to make sure that it's not going to interfere with any of your medication. So if you're on blood thinners or heart medication, you pretty much should not use cayenne in a medicinal way, like capsules of it. If you're just doing a sprinkle, it's all good. But if you're taking it as a supplement, you need to make sure that it's not going to interfere with any medication that other medication you might be taking. Okay, so see how it's turned yellow? We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna turn it brown-ish, gray, beige, brown, gravy. Okay, I'm adding some Bragg's liquid aminos, and so that's a naturally fermented, instead of soy sauce. If you're not familiar with it, it's like a fermented soybean instead of soy sauce, because this regular soy sauce has a lot of sodium in it. You know, the regular normal brands that one might buy tend to have a lot of sodium, and this one is gentler on that, more of a fermented base, and so it's better for you. Oh yeah, okay, here we are. I have so many different things we're going to do today that I'm getting confused. Okay, so nutritional yeast, this is going to be like our gravy thickener. Okay, so as well, when you add the nutritional yeast to the Bragg's liquid aminos, it takes on very much a gravy taste. And so we're going to add some water to that. And the turmeric's still taking over. Okay, so we're going to have a yellow gravy. That's okay. It's totally fine. It's all good. We don't need gravy to be traditionally brown. As I'm thinking of that, I wonder if I could add some beet juice to that to turn it browner. I happen to have a beet here. Let's try it. I'm just gonna, hey, it can only add goodness to it. So we're going to add a little beet here. I'm gonna flip that over. I just want to see if that'll help bring it a browner color, and it'll add the lovely beet nutrition and yeah, good for the liver, good for the eyes, iron, all that stuff that beets have. We'll just let that simmer in there and let's just see what happens. We love to experiment on here. It's so much fun. Okay, so I'm just going to let this kind of simmer down a bit and thicken a little more. We'll use our nutritional yeast thickener. And then afterwards, I will taste that. You'll notice I didn't add any salt because the Bragg's liquid aminos is a little bit salty because it is a soy sauce sort of base, naturally fermented. So we're just going to let that sit. We're going to work with the chard here. And my beautiful chard, we're going to have a look here. Does that bottle of Bragg's have liquid aminos on the label or soy sauce? It's liquid soy seasoning on this particular one, natural soy sauce alternative. I did hear that they changed the recipe, so let me know what you want to say about that. I will have a look here. It says original formula. So, yeah, so anyways, let me know on that. And that's the nice thing about being on the Facebook Live, is because we can share information and learn from each other about different things. And unfortunately, sometimes really good products get bought out by not so good companies, like the Daiya cheese, D-A-I-Y-A. I heard that they got bought out. They were a natural vegan cheese, and so I have, for the most part, switched to other natural vegan cheese alternatives. Although I have to say, in a certain recipe, when I'm looking for something that's in shreds, you know, Daya seems to be the only one that really has a good shred that I can get a hold of. Maybe in other places you can get a hold of different ones that have shreds for certain recipes when you really want the shreds. So, so sometimes in those cases I will use the Daya, although it's not my, yeah, I'm just a little disappointed that they sold out, and I don't know the politics behind that. I'm not going to get into it. This is a really good brand here. Earth Island Parmesan. They have the Parmesan in the, you know, shaker powder, which is super awesome. We're going to use this in the next recipe. And they have, that's probably enough stems. They have, oh, maybe not. I just remembered what I'm making. Okay, so Earth Island has also the Parmesan in like, you know, a little bit of shreds, like Parmesan-ish shreds. So it's not the same as trying to add, you know, shredded cheese to, say, tacos or something like that. So, okay, so we're going to chop up this. I do remember what I'm doing now. And we're going to remove that. We're going to remove that now. And the beet isn't really doing much for it. I guess it's turning a little orangier. Orangier. I don't know. I mean, it'll add that earthy beet flavor, which is okay too. All right, so I'm going to set this aside and get this going because we need to move on to the next recipe. And I wasn't going to bring the two cooking things out here yet. So I have everything I need in there. Just check, check, check. Yes, that's all I was going to put in there. Okay, so we're going to go with this. So we might as well put the stems in because I do want them cooked down a little bit, just to tenderize them a bit. And yeah, me too. And I don't know, there is there's a Bragg's coconut nectar that is just to die for. If you haven't tried it, I'm not going to run to the fridge and get it, but if you haven't tried the Bragg's coconut nectar, oh my god, it's like a coconut soy sauce. It is like seriously awesome, and it's very similar to a coconut balsamic. And so yeah, if you haven't tried it, it's awesome, even just on a salad on its own, or as any kind of a marinade for whatever it is that you want to do. Like it's pretty cool. Okay, so I have way too much chard for my cutting board, and we'll try and get this a little finer. I do really prefer to not have long strings of food that are, you know, that are really hard to eat ladylike. God, I haven't heard that word in a long time. So anyways, yeah, sometimes it is hard to eat long stringy things when you're with a fork or whatever. Okay, so other thing I forgot to mention is a general, you know, generally we do these videos like almost every day, well, pretty much Monday to Friday. And so I think I'm starting to assume that everybody already knows my spiel on, you know, when you bring your groceries home, you make sure you wash them before you put them in the fridge, especially now. But I mean, I've always done that long before the pre-COVID thing. And that way they're ready to go. They're washed, they're clean, they've, you know, you just open up the fridge, and usually I will just have the all the little tops of the little cloth bags open, and you can just go in there with your knife and slice off a piece of whatever you want instead of taking all the bags out. And so yeah, so it just goes much faster when you're cooking if all your veggies are washed before you put them in the fridge. I know some people say you lose a bit of nutrition, but on the other hand, in my experience in working with people, I do offer a life coaching or a nutrition coaching. In working with people, 9 times out of 10, you'll open the fridge and you'll go, oh, I don't have time, or I don't have the energy to wash all these vegetables and make a big salad with all these different things, or whatever, stir fry or whatever. And then they will choose something less healthy. And so in my mind, you use the vegetables much quicker if they're washed rather than, you know, not having them washed to save the nutrition. To me, it equals out because you eat them faster, even if they've been washed. And of course, now that we have the whole wash situation going on here, people are washing everything anyways. I know I am. Washing the outside of the packaging, everything. Everything gets washed with soap and water and disinfectant. Everything, including myself and everything I touch. Pretty funny times we're living in. It's not funny at all. It's like so bizarre. But anyway, we have to find a sense of humor or we will go crazy because things can get a little intense right now. So, so you have to find light moments, even though there are many, many important and serious things to work with and consider. But right now, for this, we are just cooking good food, so we feel good enough to do whatever it is that your little heart desires. Okay, so I need a spoon, and I'm just trying to think of what my plan was. Oh, I remember my plan. Yeah, I can't use that spoon. Okay, so I don't have another spoon. I don't want to run around the kitchen looking for it. Because we do this every day. Half my stuff that I work with every day ends up over there. I need duplicates of everything. So we'll just use chopsticks, which will work just fine to get these guys down. Okay, so what we're going to do is show you what we're doing with this. And this is cauliflower. And I kind of made it flat, you know, so that it's kind of casserole-y, you know, I kind of like sliced it flat-ish. And so what we're going to do is we are going to make like a cauliflower bake with this beautiful gravy. Okay, so you can do this a couple different ways. I'm obviously not going to because it's too late. But what you could do is you could sort of flash fry this in a little bit of oil just to brown the edges, to crisp the edges on, you know, on either side or all sides, which is kind of why I wanted it flat, so you could do that. Or you can do it like this. You can just put the gravy on and then just bake it like this and it'll fall apart and it'll taste really lovely. So whatever you want to do. So this is the mushroom thing, and also the other thing that I say to you guys often is to, as much as you can, make extra so that you save a little bit of this and a little bit of that, because, you know, the next day or maybe the next day, you're in the fridge and you're looking for something to spice something up. So I will have a little bit of this extra gravy to add to, I mean, I could throw this on some potatoes, I could throw this on some rice or whatever. So it's always really good and important to make a little bit extra of whatever it is that you're making. And I'm just going to add a little bit more sauce here. I didn't taste it. I tend to not taste things because a lot of times it gives me coughing because I can't talk and taste at the same time. Anyway, I'm not gonna take the chance. Okay. Anyways, all right. So here's your leftover, and you know, if you wanted to, I know it doesn't look like a lot, but it's just the two of us, so that's why I make small amounts usually, and also because the other person that lives here would eat it all in one sitting if I made like a lot. There's no comprehension of saving some for another date or another meal. Okay, so doesn't that look good? Just steamed nicely. So we're going to let it cook down a little bit more. One of the things that helps it to break down and assists in it being absorbed is the apple cider vinegar. This is the apple cider vinegar that we, well, this isn't it, but we have made our own apple cider vinegar, and it's coming along really nicely. I forget the date. We did it together, and I did like 8 gallons of apple trimmings, and then you just put it in water with a little bit of sugar, natural organic sugar and let it sit for a month. And yeah, so it turns into apple cider vinegar, which is super awesome. And that's that one. That one I did actually in 2018, so that one's 2 years old. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit of that to break it down. And the other thing I'm going to add is oh yeah, I'm going to add coconut milk. I have to look at the ingredients because I'm making 3 things here. So it's like, okay, that goes with that, that goes with that, this goes with this, and we are going to add some of this. So it's going to be interesting to just pull in that flavor. And what I wanted it to do, I'm not going to do that yet. Okay. Nobody has suggested for me to just do one recipe per show or whatever this is, what per Facebook Live. So everybody wants so many different things. They want to learn so many different things that I do 2 or 3, and then it's just way more fun. Okay, let's go with the next recipe while that goes down, because it does need to go down some more. I'm going to flip this over for a clean cutting board, and we're going to work with the cucumbers. So the cucumbers, again, I need duplicate everything. I'm going to grab a clean knife for the cucumbers, even though it truly would not matter if I had chard on my cucumbers. The only thing is it might break down a little bit faster, and I don't really want to have it mushy, because I do like to have this salad for a couple days if we can. This from my garden. So happy, happy, happy. I have many left. I don't know if everyone else does, but like I said, we are very late here because we're on higher altitude. And so everything that happens in my garden happens later than everybody else. Oops, as far as getting ripening and all that kind of thing, blooming and ripening. Okay, so I'm going to just cut this up, and I actually will try this because I'm not sure, you know, we're pretty late in the season, so. The skins are good for you. It's not too tough. I don't think it's going to be too tough. Okay, actually, I better not. I'm supposed to be doing this and not eating. Okay. I'm going to set that there. Okay, so, actually, my hands here. Okay, the other thing you can do, there are tools that if your cucumber skin is too tough, there's a tool where you can actually score it, and then that makes it more chewable. So, otherwise you could peel it, you know, just, we can do that too. I mean, even though I cut it first without thinking, like I said, when I'm doing so many things at once, sometimes I get distracted. All right, I'm going to peel this. Okay, so this is going to be a really good little, that piece there is fine. It's going to be a really good little cucumber salad. And I'm watching the chard to make sure that it doesn't get too overcooked, which it is. I'm turning this off right now. Okay, let's just try and grab these guys. They're kind of slippery. Oh, it doesn't matter. And that's the nice thing about the Facebook Live too. You know, I've had a lot of comments. About how people watch this and they feel like they've been given the freedom to just about do anything with food and to make a lot of mistakes, and it really doesn't matter. You know, if in my world there is no perfection, and I mean, I don't even try. It's nice to do things, you know, the right way, whatever that might be, but it just doesn't seem to happen in my life. So I don't worry about it. And it's all good. Nothing bad has happened from not doing everything perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to chop this up. I'm going to make them actually a little bit bigger now because we've taken most of the skin off. And we're just going to make a little, a little cucumber salad here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add sesame and ginger to it. Okay, so it's beautiful, just like that. I think that's a big enough bowl. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to put this in. I'm going to give this another stir. Just the bottom parts, like I was really after getting the stems softened, not so much the actual leaves. But anyway, there's where we are. If you weren't talking and doing 3 things at once, you probably would not want to cook that as much, only because I am going to put it in the oven later, so it'll get softer. But that's okay. It'll still have nutrition. Still good stuff. Okay, so your cucumbers. What we're going to add to this is a little bit of sesame oil, which will be super awesome. Sesame oil is quite strong. You don't need very much. This is like the pure sesame oil. And then ginger. You could add fresh ginger if you want. I'm going to add just a little bit of the dried powdered ginger. Maybe too much. As you know, if you've been watching me at all, I have a really hard time measuring things. It just isn't in my nature. Okay, so, and there we go. We're going to add a little bit of black pepper. And, oh, you know what would be really good with this too? I don't know what the combination would be like, but that coconut nectar. Okay, let me think about this. Sesame and ginger. I was going to add the Bragg's liquid aminos to it anyways, or the apple cider vinegar, but the coconut nectar is like a combination of both, so I will grab that. So you guys can see. Whoops. It's so new, it's brand new. It's the coconut nectar, organic, Bragg's original, blah, blah, blah. Very good, because it is like a, oh God. Okay, here's the thing. It is like kind of a combination of apple cider vinegar and coconut and soy sauce, but it's not very salty. It's so beautiful. And you guys are just gonna love this. Okay, let's give this a try. Now, stabbing myself and bleeding on the channel. But that's what life is all about, right? Experimenting and making mistakes. Okay, there we go. We did it. All right. So this stuff is super awesome. Can't see with glasses, can't see without them. Okay. And this is really good for your arm muscles. I figure, you know, if I keep trying to open lids all by myself, it'll help so that I don't have to go to the gym. Okay. Now, there we go. Here we are. Okay. Oh, that's going to be so good. And it's fairly, like, it's not thick, but it's thicker than soy sauce, just a little. So that's going to be, oh my God, the smell already. With the sesame seed oil, that is amazing. What I think I will do, I've got some peppers there, but I don't know. I think I want to add a couple of these little cherry tomatoes, and just for color. Okay. Yeah. I need a sharper knife, or I need to sharpen my knives. I do have a knife sharpener. Okay. One more thing. One more thing. I have to put this together for you. I know I'm way, way late. Okay. Let me just squish this tomato into 4. Okay. There we go. Good enough. You get the idea. Okay, we need to get back to the plan here. I forgot the big dish. Okay. All right. So next thing, this is what I'm going to do, and then I will let you guys go. I'm just going to pretend, because I do have a dish here. I'll set this here. I set that there on my cucumber seeds. The whole plan here is to just put this in to a casserole dish, and obviously this isn't it, although you know what, it might fit. I don't want a lot of the juice in it, so I'm just going to try and scrape the greens out, and then I'm going to add the coconut oil, and then I'm going to add the, actually, you know what, these things work pretty good. Okay, I'll address that later after I drain it. Okay, so I want this fairly dry. I'm going to add the coconut oil to it. Coconut milk to it. And this particular brand is super thick and creamy, and I really am quite enjoying it. Probably that's enough. There we go with no measuring. So we'll get this in here, some coconut milk. And the idea is to make it like a creamy sauce, so I might need a little bit more, you know, and again, like it all depends how much chard you cook as to what you might need in there, so that's why I don't measure. So we're going to put this together. It's going to make super nice creamy sauce, and yeah, yummy. Okay, the other thing we're going to do, I'm going to try and hurry because I know you guys have to leave. The idea is to cover this with panko crumbs if you want. I don't know if you guys know what panko crumbs are. They're kind of like a better choice than breadcrumbs, or at least I think they're a better choice than breadcrumbs. But I don't have any. So what I'm going to use is Heritage Flakes here. This has kamut, spelt, oats, barley, millet, and quinoa. So you could crush this up if you want to. It's totally up to you, but I'm happy with cereal on my chart. So this is just going to add like a crunch on the top. I don't want too much cereal on it. Just a little. You know, just evenly pack it, because when you put this in the oven, it's all going to soften and make like a little, you know, kind of a pie crust on the top. Okay. Get it nice and even there, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then we're going to add the little Parmesan on top. Okay, so there you go. So it's going to have like a cheesy casserole thing with the chard. Okay, I did it. I'm only 5 minutes late. Okay, what do you think? All right, so yeah, so we have the, to recap, we have the cauliflower with the mushroom onion gravy with nutritional yeast, and we have the chard with coconut milk and like a little casserole, and then we have the beautiful sesame, ginger, coconut nectar cucumbers. Okay, thanks you guys, thanks for hanging out. We will see you Monday, and yeah, have a really super great weekend, and thanks for hanging out. Check out my YouTube channel, my Instagram, and subscribe. Okay, we'll see you Monday.